Hello, it's Dr. Ginny here, founder of Slender for Good, and I'd love to help people lose all their excess weight in a healthy and sustainable way. And today I created this video because I want to explain why the weight loss approaches that you've been using have been failing you. It took me a lot of years of study to understand why we were having so much failure and what would make the difference. And I really want to save you some of the pain and the shame and the frustration and the sense of failure that I went through. A lot of the clients that I work with, they're usually mature women who have been struggling with excess weight for a long time, and they really have gotten very discouraged and feel very ashamed. And you do not need to feel ashamed, because there are some really good reasons why your weight loss approaches haven't been working. It's not you, it's the approach that you've been using, and you're going to have to use a different approach if you want to have different results. And I know that you don't know yet what that approach is, but I'm going to help you with that, all right? So there are three kind of primary reasons that our weight loss approaches have been failing us. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the quick fix. And it's very understandable, because eating is not a behavior that's under conscious control all the time. It's something that we were influenced to eat the way that we eat from the time we were children. A lot of the influences on our eating are not even things that we're aware of. So we just eat as a matter of habit, right, in a lot of ways. Quick fixes are appealing to us because we know that we don't have conscious control over our eating all the time. But a quick fix tends to be an approach that involves a sharp reduction in calories and maybe compensating for that by adding sugar or caffeine or both. And these approaches will start to feel good. They'll feel good at the beginning, and we might see weight loss at the beginning, but they aren't effective in the long run for a number of reasons. And a couple of reasons are that they work at odds with the way that our bodies work. Our bodies evolved over millennia to protect us from starvation and various other things, but that's one thing they're going to protect us from. So when we sharply cut our calories, even though we might initially lose some weight, our bodies respond in a couple of ways. One is by slowing our metabolism, so that we'll hold on to more of the calories that are coming in fat, to build up fat stores to protect us for the future. And the other thing they'll do is send chemicals, hormones to our brain, telling us, you're hungry, you go eat now. So we will get more hungry, and we'll hold on to more of the calories that are coming in through a slowed metabolism. So that's a recipe for failure, right? So most of the quick fixes that are out there, maybe all the quick fixes that are out there, are doomed to failure. And we know, the mature women that I work with, we know quick fixes aren't going to work for us anymore. As much as that's what's being marketed to us all the time, it's not going to work, it's not going to be effective, it's going to lead to overeating and ultimately to continuing to gain weight. So that's the first thing that's wrong about our weight loss approaches. Excuse me. Another thing that's really wrong with our weight loss approaches is many of them are very unsustainable. So I think about my friend Mary, who had been struggling with weight for decades and had trouble with diabetes and high blood pressure at this point, and was really ready to make a big change. So she invested in those prepackaged meals, and instead of eating, at restaurants and cooking the things at home that she really enjoyed and was used to eating, she was eating these prepackaged meals 3 times a day. And at first, it really worked for her. She lost, I don't know how much, 40, 50 pounds. She lost a lot. She was really starting to look different and feel different and finally get some confidence about this weight loss thing. But as soon as she got there to that point, she started gaining the weight back. And one of the reasons for that is that she hadn't learned a new way of eating that was sustainable. It's not sustainable to eat packaged food all the time. And even if we could do it, it's not healthy for us to eat the highly processed packaged foods all the time. So that is an unsustainable way, and it's a way that we're not going to succeed in the long run. So with Mary, we started working on, okay, what are the foods that you need to eat more of so that you can have the nutrition that your body needs? And what are the foods that you need to eat less of, or even cut out of your diet, at least temporarily, to heal your body and your brain so that you can start to lose the weight in a healthy and sustainable way. And when we did that, she started not only losing the weight and getting a lot healthier and getting her sugar levels a lot more normal and her blood pressure a lot more under control, but she also She also learned how to eat in a way that she could eat for the rest of her life and feed her family for the rest of her life. So she was so excited and happy to finally find an approach that would let her become slender and in a long-term and sustainable and healthy kind of way. And it was fantastic to see that in her life. So those are two ways. One is we're using quick fixes, and those are doomed to failure because they cause us to overeat. And we're using unsustainable approaches that maybe will help us lose weight for a while, but it'll only be temporary, and then we'll gain back usually all the weight that we lost and then some, which is so discouraging. The third way that we can, the third approach that tends to fail for us is when we use a random hodgepodge of approaches. And I fell into this category because I love to study and learn how do these things work. And so I was a little bit susceptible to all the messages out there about you should try this, and now here's the latest thing, and now here's the newest thing, and this is going to make all the difference for you. And if only you'd known this last week or last year, you could have lost all your weight then. And so because I was constantly seeing those messages about something new, I was constantly trying something new and changing my approach. And I started to realize, because I was at the time coaching nonprofit executives, and I was talking to them about, you need a more coherent approach to how you're running your business and how you're hiring your staff and how you're handling your strategic planning and things like that. And I started to hear myself, and I thought, that probably applies to weight loss too. We need to follow a more coherent approach, something that is consistent from day to day, that's going to get us from step A to step B to step C, all the way to our goal of step Z, right? And so rather than using a quick fix approach or an unsustainable approach or constantly changing our approach, we need to start following a coherent and proven approach to become slender for good. The thing that's going to happen with this kind of approach is it's going to work effectively with your body rather than working at odds with your body. If our body is going to respond to a sharp drop in calories by slowing our metabolism and by prompting us to eat more, we're going to need to change our approach. It can't be just a calorie cutting approach. Those don't work. We also want our approach to give our brain the right kind of supports, because eating is not under constant conscious control. It's very driven by habit. I talked about this earlier. And so we're going to need to establish habits that we can sustain for the rest of our lives. So we aren't going to have to think constantly about what can I eat and what can I not eat. That's very stressful and it's not very effective. So we want to give our brains the right supports by building habits that we can live with for the rest of our lives. And the other thing that we want to do is set up an environment that is supportive to us in our weight loss efforts, because the environment that's around us by default is not going to be supportive of our weight loss efforts. I'm going to talk more about that in an upcoming video. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope it gives you some hope and lets you let go of the shame and lets you believe that you can find a weight loss approach that will become the last diet of your life and will allow you to lose all your excess weight in a healthy and sustainable way. So watch for the upcoming videos. There's going to be one on a great insight that will help you understand why, as a population globally, we're becoming fatter, sicker, and aging too fast. And also another video will be about my seven-step system. The 7 steps that I discovered are critical for losing all your excess weight and keeping it off in a healthy way. So watch for my upcoming videos. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.